The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 20th day of August 2025. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman, and we'll have a news break a bit later by Teo Dill. Alrighty, happy Wednesday to everyone. It is the middle of the traditional work week. Hopefully everyone is having a fantastic week so far. We have a lot to go through this morning. So that said, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome President of Bermuda College, Dr. David Sam, onto the show. We're going to be discussing the upcoming school year and how the institution continues to prepare students for Bermuda in 2025. The daily play is going to be music today, so we'll have some music trivia. I'm pretty sure you all will get that right, whatever it is. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Here's the questions of the morning. What are your thoughts on the kebab situation at Harbor Nights? And do you believe it's a conflict of interest? Well, what am I talking about? You're probably asking. Well, recently, folks, in the Royal Gazette, there was an article, and it was basically titled, it was, it was titled, Heated Kebabs Battle Spices Up Harbor Nights. Props to the Royal Gazette for that headline. So here's some background on the story. It was published like August 12th, so probably last week or week before, last week. But Chris and Elaine Lima, they own Kebabs on the Curve, and from their perspective, they rely on income from Harbor Nights to, for their business to thrive. This is their second year participating, and they found issue because, unfortunately for them, Joshua's Bakery, which is owned by Mariko Thomas, who is the president of the Chamber of Commerce, apparently was selling kebabs right next to them at a lower price. So the Limas, complained that Joshua's had not previously sold kebabs at the event and raised concerns about fairness and potential conflict of interest. Joshua's temporarily moved away but returned to the adjacent stall the following week. Regarding the pricing war, they said, we're just a small enterprise and we really depend on the event. Question just from that, pricing wars, audience. I have a very strong perspective about this, but what are your thoughts on the kebab situation at Harbor Night? Because this is not just a Harbor Night situation. This is generally business in a small community, right? This is business in a small community. But what are your thoughts? Do you believe it's a conflict of interest? Just a yes or no. Do you believe it's a conflict of interest? And what are your thoughts on the situation? I'll go a bit deeper. So obviously, Mr. Thomas, he's going to respond because, he doesn't want to be accused of, this using his position to beat out competition. So the Chamber of Commerce clarified that stall placement and operational decisions are handled by Select Sites, a subcontractor, and not by its board or president, which is fair. They emphasized that there's no product exclusivity at Harbor Nights, aiming to foster variety and support for local entrepreneurs. Regarding the conflict of interest, the chamber noted that board members follow a formal policy disclosing and recusing themselves where necessary. Ms. Lima declined an alternate stall. She remains concerned about her loss of sales, while Joshua's reportedly offered to remove kebab advertising from their signage. So based on that, okay, let's hear Joshua. Let's hear from Mariko Thomas. So Mr. Thomas defended his business. He claimed that kebabs are a long-standing offer at Food Hub restaurants in various forms, not a copy of Kebabs on the Curve. He said that they inadvertently underpriced, then adjusted pricing when the issue was raised, seeking to align with fair market prices. He reiterated that placement decisions are entirely out of his control. He stressed his goal was and has always been to attract visitors and enhance the festival experience, highlighting that the different vendors selling similar items side by side is common at Harbor Nights. Look, at the end of the day, I sympathize with Kebabs on the Curve, but from reading all of this, I think I have to side with Mr. Thomas. And I'll explain why in a few. And I'm all for the smaller enterprise. Don't get me wrong, but I'll explain why. So here are some questions that we need to consider, folks. Fairness versus competition. Is it inherently fair for two vendors to sell the same product at different places at a public festival? My opinion is yes. Honestly, here's the thing. I think that's the cost of doing business, right? Here we are on the radio this morning. We're streaming live. For those who are tuned in, I am grateful. We are thankful for you. Why? Because you have the right, you have the opportunity, and there are options for you to be listening to someone else, watching someone else, doing whatever you want to do. So it's our job to do what we need to do to keep you tuned in to what we're doing versus what the others are doing. So as far as fairness and competition, I mean, where should the line be drawn with healthy competition and underlying smaller vendors? Because yes, they are a smaller company versus a larger company. That is big. I mean, you can have a big clothing store versus someone who's just selling t-shirts and so on. So I get that. But how do you want to regulate that? Conflict of interest. Even if Joshua's Bakery did not directly influence stall placement, does the perception of conflict of interest still harm trust in the Chamber of Commerce? I say no. And the reason I say no is basically we want the best people involved in spaces, right? If it was not a conflict of interest for David Dodwell to be the chairman of the Bermuda Tourism Authority, then how could something like this be? Mariko Thomas, I don't know if he is, but the business is so large, he probably doesn't even have a say in what's on their menus like that. Maybe he does, I don't know. But I'm just saying, when your business reaches a certain level, it's not on that person. That may be the owner or president or CEO or whatever sometimes. So furthermore, when it comes to a small community, it is kind of difficult to avoid conflict of interest. We've seen it in government. We need to find where the line is as a community. Vendor exclusivity policies. Should festivals like Harbor Nights consider offering exclusive product categories to support diversity among small vendors? I think that would set us back. I believe that would set us back because there's only so many. Let's use this. We've watched the BDC, the Wave of Pitch competition for years. And from my perspective, it's very similar businesses, a lot of skincare businesses. That doesn't bother me that there are a lot. I use Enzori. Let me be very honest and clear. I do use Enzori products. Thank you. But I do use Enzori. But I'm sharing that because I don't want to show bias. I'm simply saying that I appreciate that there are more businesses like that coming out. They're unique. They have their own way of doing things. That's the joy in entrepreneurship. Exclusivity, you're basically forcing people into one space. How do we focus on exclusivity? Yet we've got monopolies running around in Bermuda. Like literally one grocery chain is going to own everything soon if we're not careful. We need to discuss the pros and cons of exclusivity versus open competition. Vendor support structures. What alternatives or protections could be available to small vendors like the Limas? Pricing guidelines, more deliberate vendor space, and special pricing zones. Should the Harbor Knights have, okay, $10 and under over here or what? Like, what does that look like? Telling people how much they can charge, right? And different businesses have different costs. Maybe Joshua's has to pay their people more versus Kebabs on the Curve. Long-term impacts. How might this incident influence vendors' participation or public perception of Harbor Knights? I mean, it could discourage smaller businesses from joining, but I hope it doesn't. I think that we all need to have a conversation about this and what are the guidelines, how involved are people in their positions? Because I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to call names. I would love to see some of the business people we work with, whether it's Zach Monners from Lindo's, Mickey Robinson from Medical House, Tamara Richardson from Peoples. I would love to see them more involved in a lot of things. But it reminds me of what Glenn Blakeney said to me many years ago when he was a government minister. I said, boss, why won't you take the Ministry of Telecommunications? And he said to me, well, Jamal, that'll be too much of a conflict because I own the radio station. Does that all make sense, audience? Does that all make sense to you? So again, with all that said, what are your thoughts on the kebab situation at Harbor Knights? And do you believe it's a conflict of interest? We've got Shika Rena. She says, when I've hosted food truck events, I don't have two trucks with the same food types. That's fair. That makes sense. Unless it's like, let's say it's a jerk festival, right? You may have multiple people with jerk. And I believe that when the Court Street vendors had the most recent one, there was only one jerk tent allowed. I could be wrong. I think I'm remembering correctly. I think I'm remembering correctly. But that's fair. I understand that. But I think Bermuda's so small and there's so many people selling similar things. How do we, I think for that audience, for our community, we need to figure something out. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, no conflict of interest. Yes, Thomas owns other business and member of Chamber of Commerce, but it's simple case of free market competition. There you go. We have to ask ourselves, do we want to be regulated or do we want free market competition? A lot comes with regulation that I'm not quite sure we want. Suzanne Ingham says, Mr. Thomas, you have all these other businesses. Come on now, give the small business a chance. Come on. And I understand that. I understand that. I understand what you're saying. But at the same time, do we want to regulate businesses that are, running according to the fair market? Do we want to change things? I just don't know what that looks like. I don't know what that looks like. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, aside from price, the food quality for Thomas Kebabs may be better. Well, here's the other thing, folks. And this is a question for the audience. What's more important to you, price or food quality, right? Because if your prices are more than the guy next to you, then your focus may not be on price. It may be on quality, experience. There's so much more to running a business than what you charge. And I'm not here chastising because I sympathize with Kebabs on the Curve. We are a small entity. We cannot compete at this current time with established legacy entities. So I get it. It's difficult. But I think the conflict of interest part is hard to avoid in a small community. And while they may have undercut you on price, focus on your quality and your experience. Get creative with your social media and marketing. There are ways to respond to competition. I'm not telling anyone how to feel or disregard their feelings because they're valid. They obviously felt undercut. They felt that it was a conflict of interest, and they are well within their rights to feel that way. Well within their rights to feel that way. But it's always going to be difficult in a small space like Bermuda. Monroe Smith says, you see a lot of vendors have similar menus at Cup Match and Connie matches. Remember, they tried that at America's Cup and many vendors lost money. That's an excellent point. Are we going to tell SIDS not to sell fish because Seaside Grill is there? Are we going to tell, what was the one, Spot was there this year, not to sell fish sandwiches because at a certain price because Seaside Grill's over there, or Sensational Delights? That's an excellent point. We have this all the time in Bermuda. And again, I'm not trying to say their feelings are invalid. I'm not. I'm just trying to get us to think and understand the situations that we're in. Over on Instagram, Tussie25 says, it's up to entrepreneurs to be creative. It's fair to sell the same as another entity. Perhaps give out coupons to be above the rest. Indeed. Like, if I'm not mistaken, Kebabs on the Curve, they have a restaurant. So they can do a coupon at Harbor Night, like put something up. Say, every time you buy a kebab here, you get $1 off in store. Something like that. I'm not a genius. And I don't want to, I'm always blasting my good friend. I'm not about how she's helped me remain humble and be creative in business. But as mean as I feel she can be sometimes, she's right. Because when you're in business, there's going to be competition. There are going to be others that do things differently from you. Maybe offering lower advertising rates or a similar product with a better package. I want to win. I want to do well. But others are in this space as well. You know, I said this during our 5-year anniversary when most of our media partners were present. And I said, none of us own this space. What we do is a service to the community. And it's so important that we understand that. And I think that any vendor at Harbor Night or Cup Match or Coney Game, whatever festival in Bermuda, you have to look at it as if you were doing a service to the community, whether you're selling food or clothing, a service to the community. I feel for the Lemas, but I would encourage them to be creative. And to the audience, I have never met them. Whether you've had their kebabs or not, let them know that you heard them. Go support them. Restaurant business is tough. Richard Scott says, it has an appearance of nepotism. Sometimes declaring your position up front can make things a little more palatable. An ounce of prevention is more than a pound of cure. Fair enough. Fair enough. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Richard. And I think I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't even know what Joshua's Bakery was. Like, I actually had to read the article. Well, conflict. Who's the person in the chamber? Who's the and I forgot. You know, Mariko Thomas owns so many things. But I'm not saying it's a reach. But it's hard. It's hard to prove that. And what I think we have to understand is so many things are not determined by that one person. Is a person who has a position in a chamber or so on, as long as they declare their interest, I don't think they should be axed out. I mean, I know the big concern is our politicians, and conflict of interest. but it's hard in Bermuda. I'm not making excuses for them. It's hard though. I want the best of us involved in every aspect of our community. And for that to happen, there's going to be some conflicts along the way. Dr. Anthony Richardson says mom and pops need to learn to pivot. Figure out the competition in terms of price, appearance, taste, then slot your business into the position that best works for the moment. Yeah. And pivoting's not easy sometimes because sometimes we all get comfortable. But you know what they say about comfort? It's not helpful. It's a dangerous place to be. Roberto Ortiz, Anthropology, says, as long as people are thinking about it, they will succeed. It's when you stop. Everything in life has an evolution, even business. Absolutely. Again, I feel for the Limas, but I would encourage them to be creative. Be creative. I don't think it's the end of the world. I think they need to be creative, and maybe the chamber, on their part, just having conversations with people about competition and what members or associates within the organization may have businesses participating. This was your daily discussion brought to you by our friends at Titan Express and Secure. We're going to do the Daily Hour News Break with Teo Dill after this quick thanks.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Visit TitanEXBDA.com, your leading tour and transport provider specializing in Black History tours throughout the island. And SecureBDA.com for all your property management, waste management, residential, and commercial trucking needs. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is our commitment to you.
Alrighty, I think we've got Dr. David Sam coming up. Folks, in the meantime, do us a huge favor, if you haven't already. If you are streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter X, or Instagram, go ahead and give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just help us beat the algorithm to ensure everyone you know has access to these most important community conversations. Here's Teo Dill with your Daily Hour News Break.
Welcome to your TDH News Break, brought to you by our friends at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill. Our national tourism numbers are continuing to improve, if only by a little. This from the Bermuda Tourism Authority's Q2 2025 data dump, which highlights that leisure visitors are continuing to grow at about 3% annually, with a 2% increase in per visitor spending reaching just over $2,200 per person. Interestingly, family travel featuring arrivals with kids under 17 has gone up by close to 10%. So that's some of the good stuff. Here is the bad news. Despite cruise visitor numbers going up by 3% last quarter, as you'd expect during the start of the main season, the increase was not enough to counteract the reduced volume seen earlier in the year following a shift away from January to March cruise calls. This all means that total cruise arrivals are not likely to meet last year's numbers. BTA acting CEO Aaron Wright shared that the organization is, quote, closely monitoring shifts in leisure travel behavior from the U.S. and other international markets to ensure our strategies remain responsive and relevant. Now, one of those shifts in leisure travel behavior that we're sure the BTA is looking at is the steep decline in U.S. tourism, largely attributed to U.S. President Donald Trump's trade wars, and how it's contributed to our visitor numbers here in Bermuda. For example, Las Vegas, one of the most well-known tourist spots on the planet, has been close to what feels like empty this year, which means there are hundreds of thousands of people who need somewhere else to visit, as explained by Vegas Mayor Shelley Berkeley.
I have a rather large market with the Canadians. It's gone from, a faucet to a drip. Same thing in Mexico. We have a number of very high rollers that come in from Mexico that aren't so keen on coming in right now.
Now, there's also likely to be a drop in visitors to the island over the next few days due to the ongoing approach of Hurricane Erin, as the currently Category 2 storm has swung north-northwest as expected and should continue north and northeast around a high to Bermuda southeast before speeding up across the North Atlantic. All that movement should take place between now and early Friday, with some re-strengthening believed to be possible over warm waters if the eye wall of the system reforms. That said, like we've been telling you, we're in the high activity part of the hurricane season, and there are a couple other weather developments we need you to keep an eye on.
check out this area just south of the Cape Verde Islands. This is, like I said, been designated as an invest, meaning the National Hurricane Center, it's piquing their interest. They're looking at it and they're saying, you know what, this is starting to already look like a named storm. And it sure has that look, doesn't it? It's already getting a bit of that shrimp look. You can see the head here and then kind of the tail down below it. Definitely has that characteristic look you would expect before getting a named storm. Now, a little less organized here, but likely to get something out of this, I think, over the next week. Now, that could be a named storm or that could just be, an open wave. The good news is the trend with this one has been for an out to sea track.
And as far as today's weather is concerned, we're under an active tropical storm watch, all due to Hurricane Aaron's slow march closer to Bermuda. This means today will be a mix between periods of sun, bookended by a bunch of rain alongside steadily strengthening wind that will really start to pick up by tomorrow lunchtime. You got today for final storm prep. Please use it appropriately. And thanks for hanging out with us for your TDH News Break, brought to you by the good folks at Peoples. I'm Teo Dill.
Alrighty, thanks so much for that, Teo. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's been paying attention. Las Vegas has been in a downward spiral. I've been reading articles almost on it, and I'm not lying, a daily basis about Las Vegas. I don't know if people realize, but Vegas and Orlando are the it destinations in the United States. Haven't seen as much about Orlando, but group business really drives Las Vegas. It's a number of things have been said for the downward spiral for Las Vegas as far as tourism travel. One is Trump's tariffs. Another is, foreign travelers staying away. But they're taking a huge hit. One of the other things is that Vegas used to be a place where people who didn't have money went to and got to enjoy a good time, cheap hotels and, gamble and restaurants. And now you've taken all these celebrity restaurants with these expensive menus and so on. So they changed Vegas over time and it became for more, elite people. Whatever it's gone wrong in Vegas, as Teo said in his news break, people are looking for somewhere else to go. And the challenge with Bermuda is that most of the gateway cities are in the United States. So people who are trying to avoid the US will have to go through either Canada, the UK, because those are the only other direct flights that we have on a regular basis. So interesting there. It is time for your days of the year, folks. Days of the year. It's International Hawaiian Pizza Day. And I'm just going to ask you all one quick thing. Does pineapple go on pizza? Yes or no? Does pineapple go on pizza? Yes or no? It's also World Mosquito Day, but in the US, it's National Radio Day. And I will tell you, radio, you can hear stories, the music, the news, the voices from faraway places. It really brings the world together in a powerful and immediate, meaningful way. But the one thing I enjoy about radio the most is the sense of community. Community. Radio is the most community way, the biggest way, in my opinion, to engage the community. I think people thought radio wouldn't last as long as it has, but here we are. All right. Does pineapple go on pizza, folks? Dr. Anthony Richardson says yes. Lydia Simmons says yes. Cherie Dill says yes. Stacey Ann Brown says yes, pineapple goes on pizza. Nicole Walker says absolutely, love pineapple on pizza. Suzanne Ingham says my grandson says pineapple is a must on pizza. I personally say no way. Pam Wade says yes. Marquita Lee says my son puts pineapple and tuna fish. Ooh, interesting. You know what? I'm not a pineapple hater. I don't even know if I've ever had it, to be honest, but it doesn't sound appetizing to put pineapple on pizza. Like, I guess it's sweeter or something, but I don't know. It seems weird to me. No judgment. It just seems weird. It does. All right, folks. Well, today would have been my mother's 64th birthday. And though we only had 40 years together, I remain so grateful for her lessons and love. During her life, she had many jobs, but the one I believe she valued most was being a mother, especially to a Black son. As a good friend's mom once said to me, your mother was at every PTA meeting and always present. She was so determined to see her children succeed. Though cancer was her last fight, her biggest fight was raising good, productive citizens in our society. It wasn't easy, but it's a fight I believe she won. May her spirit continue to inspire not just her children, but every life that she touched. Happy birthday to you, my dear. All right, folks, we'll take a break and we'll be back with Dr. Sam after this.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Ready to take your financial game to the next level? HSBC is here to help you power up your financial fitness. Your strategy should be sharp and ready for anything, because luck won't get you to the top. Whether securing your future, growing wealth, or planning for life's next serve, HSBC's experts are here for you. From budgeting to investing, let's craft a plan as unique as your goals. Plus, get free financial planning consultations to stay on track. Learn more at hsbc.bm/financial planning. HSBC Bank Bermuda is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
96 degrees, real hot, oh yes.
Summer's heating up, but your home, it can chill. BAC is turning down the heat with 20% off Carrier X-Power Mini Split AC units. They're sleek, whisper quiet, and smart, thanks to energy-saving inverter technology. New install, upgrade, doesn't matter. Just don't miss out. For a limited time, get 20% off when you pay with cash, credit, or debit.
96 degrees, real hot.
Swing by BAC on Mill Creek Road today.
Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Alrighty, welcome back to the big show. I am Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. We're going to bring Dr. Sam in a second, but we've got a few more pineapple. Ellen Kate Horton, Ms. Horton says, I love pineapple, but not on pizza. I think we're aligned. I can't picture it on pizza. We've got Monroe Smith says, pineapple can go on anything. We've got Carmi was created to encourage says, yes, I love pineapple on my pizza. All right, I may have to try it. All right, folks, we've got Dr. Sam. We're just going to wait for Dr. Sam a bit. I think he's having troubles with the camera, so I think he's on now. He's ready to go. So let's give a warm TDH welcome to Dr. David Sam from Bermuda College, folks. Greetings, Dr. Sam. How are you?
I am well. Good morning to you. Thank you for having me here.
No problem. And audience, we're going to be talking to Dr. Sam about the upcoming school year and how they're preparing students for the workspace. But Dr. Sam, before we get into today's conversation, I got to ask you, do you eat pineapple on your pizza?
Yes, I do, but I don't have cheese on my pizza. It is straight
Dr.
tomatoes, chicken, uh, pepper, and pineapples. Yes.
Hold on. You heard what Dr. Sam just said. See, Dr. Sam, I don't eat cheese on my pizza, and they're always teasing me. They tell me that's not a pizza, that's a salad. That's what they say to me, Dr. Sam.
No, no, no. It's a pizza.
Yes.
Pizza. Yes. Cheese doesn't define pizza.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. I
Wonderful.
appreciate Dr. I am always encouraged when I hear people who eat pizza with no cheese. But Dr. Sam, thank you for doing this once again. Let's jump into the conversation. So we're heading into the new academic year. What are the top priorities for Bermuda College?
Well, thank you again for having me here. It's always a pleasure. Let me start this way. Accreditation is a very important component of the educational landscape. Bermuda College is scheduled for accreditation February 2026. And so this semester, we will wrap up things and be ready for it. And for those who are not aware, we are accredited by the same accreditation entity that accredits New England colleges such as Harvard, Yale, Brown, MIT, Tufts. So we will finish everything that we need to do so that we can maintain our accreditation. The second thing is that we are wrapping up also our strategic plan for 2025 to 2030. We'll wrap it up. It will go to the board next month for approval, and we will need to start the implementation. Another priority, serving students better than ever before. That is going to be our priority all the time, serving students better than ever before. And then we'll do more articulation agreements, since that is very important for our community. So those are some of our priorities. There are a few more that I'll talk about as we go along.
Yeah. The accreditation, I'm glad that you mentioned that. That is very important, not just for the college, but for the greater community, knowing that we have an institution that is accredited by the same organization as the elite schools in the United States of America. So I hope that doesn't go over people's heads. What initiatives or what changes should students expect on campus this year, whether in academics, student life, or facilities?
Well, we are doing a lot of improvement. We want to thank the government for some funding, and also the Bermuda College Foundation for some funding. We are improving the facilities both inside and outside so that students will have great experiences when they come on campus. We are looking to expand our academic offering because those are needed by our community. It's exciting because students ask for these, and we are going to build upon that. Also, student life. I've heard many people say that things are too slow here. Yes, there's more excitement coming for student life. So we are looking to have that. And enrollment looks very good. We are a little bit ahead of where we were last year today, but we believe a few more students will be coming in. So if you've not finalized your plans, I'll tell you this. We still have a couple of seats available for you. It's not too late to enroll. Classes start August 25th.
It's not too late to enroll, folks. Thank you for sharing that. Speaking about enrollment, affordability and accessibility are always big topics when it comes to higher education. How is Bermuda College working to make education more accessible to students and families who don't have the opportunity to go overseas?
Well, let me start by saying this. Under the Board of Governors, we've been able to maintain tuition flat for the last few years. So that's the first thing. Tuition is flat. Second, we make sure that there are resources available For those who are late in coming, going to register now, we have funds to help you go to school. Thirdly, we are working hard with the articulation agreements, not only for students who leave the island, but we want to make sure that they can stay here and complete baccalaureate degrees. We have a program with Mount St. Vincent University in Canada where you can finish your associate degree here and continue with your baccalaureate while still on the island. Our priority is to make sure that we offer more and more of those kinds of programs so that you don't leave the island. We recognize that we have many adult students who have responsibilities. They have children, they have other family members they take care of, they have jobs and cannot leave and go and spend a year or two. It is important that we facilitate their abilities to get baccalaureate degrees.
Indeed. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Sam. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Dr. Sam, please send them through. We'll get through as many comments and questions as come through as we can. How is the college? The whole purpose, Craig Simmons, economist and professor, now retired, he often spoke about community colleges being so essential in preparing people for the evolving workspace. But how is the college preparing students for the evolving job market in Bermuda and globally at this point?
Yes, we love Professor Emeritus Simmons. He did great work here. And what people forget or may not know that he's an alumni of the college. So whenever you see him, give him a shout out because he is a product of this institution. We are adapting to what needs to be done. We know AI is going to wreak havoc on the workplace. We do not know exactly what it will entail, but we give the foundational preparation for people to be able to pivot in any direction that is needed. Secondly, we know that technical education will still remain very important. AI is not going to touch those areas. Well, let me correct myself. AI may touch these areas, but they will help those technicians improve what they do. We are providing those kinds of training here. Plumbing, automotive technology, electrical technology, carpentry, all of these programs. And of course, we are preparing people also for other kinds of professions. One that is critical, we formed a partnership with Google, and they have a program called Grow with Google. I want to thank Ms. Fiona Beck for bringing Google to us, connected us, so that we have that partnership. They have over 100,000 of those partnerships around the US and North America. Bermuda College is the first international partner. And what that does is offer skills building training for people. And so in this evolving global market, we've partnered with Google through Coursera to be able to offer classes for people to be able to pivot very easily. So these are some of the partnerships that are very important for us. We are not staying put. We always want to keep going ahead. If we could get ahead of the curve, that would be great. But sometimes we are not able to. But what I can assure you is that we don't stand there and let things happen to us. We are proactive.
Yeah, thank you for that. I'll get to the question again. Keep them coming. We'll get through the questions in the audience. You continue to mention partnerships. Google just now. You mentioned earlier Mount St. Vincent, and Bermuda College plays a central role in our community. But what partnerships or programs are you most excited about this year outside of the ones that you've mentioned?
Well, it's like picking your favorite kid among your children. We have so many partnerships, but one that is new and actually is not completely done, but we are working on the final details and we know that things will go well. And it's a partnership with the Department of Workforce Development. We will wrap that up, the final details and everything within the next month. But they are going to have their building renovated, and so we'll need somewhere to be for a couple of years. For that period of time, they will be located at Bermuda College. Oh my goodness, what synergies that we can have together. The Department of Workforce is an economic development engine, and we are integral with that also. So next door to us, next building to us, next office to us will be the entity that helps to drive economic development on the island. We will work very closely with them. And my hope is that whenever they have to move, they will leave a couple of people behind so that our partnerships will remain stronger. So I'm excited about that. That is a wonderful opportunity for us.
Wow. We're excited. We're excited. Let's go to the audience, Dr. Sam. Folks, again, if you have any comments or questions, send them through. We've got Zena Trott asking, is the partnership with Mount St. Vincent limited to any particular disciplines, or is it open to all students?
Well, at the moment, it's generally in the business area, but we are exploring the possibility of expanding to other areas. So watch out for that. It's been a very successful program, but we need to expand it. We are looking to develop a similar program with King University in New Jersey so that we can train STEM teachers here. They wouldn't need to leave to go abroad for their baccalaureate in the math, sciences areas.
Gotcha. We've got Charles H. Jeffers II. He's asking, in recent years, has Bermuda College seen an increase in the number of students continuing their educational journey overseas after obtaining their associate's degree? What transition services does Bermuda College offer?
Well, I'll start with the articulation agreements. The institutions where we have articulation agreements, the transition is very seamless. Where we do not have, they have to match them one by one. And so the response is yes, more and more students go abroad with the foundation that they get from us. Those who complete their associate degrees are more successful in transferring more of their classes overseas. But as I said earlier, our hope is to offer more baccalaureate degree programs here. And let me talk about that subject a little bit. One, baccalaureate degrees from other universities being offered on the island. And two, we did strategic planning, I mentioned earlier. And even though it's not final and the Board of Governors has not approved it yet, one of the things that have been called for is baccalaureate degrees in certain selected areas so that we'll be able to meet the growing demands in certain fields. So we'll be working on that.
All righty. Thank you for that. We've got another question. Renee Simmons asking, has AI courses been added to the curriculum, e.g.
Yes, they've been added and will continue to grow. I've said elsewhere, and I always say it, get us a group of people, 10, 12, 15, and ask us to offer the class at 2 a.m. We will do it. So all we need is a gathering of people, and you tell us when we will offer the classes for you. So AI will continue to grow in the years to come. It's very important and it's very dynamic. So even if you've done it in the past year or so, you could still benefit with advanced courses in AI.
Thank you. And I want to go back earlier to the first thing you mentioned about the accreditation early 2026. What can the community do to ensure that Bermuda College maintains its accreditation?
Well, first of all, we did surveys back in fall, late September, October. We got a lot of feedback, and that helped us to frame the strategic plan and so forth. The other thing that the community has to do is, hey, students, we need students. We don't want this place to be desolate when the accreditors come. We need students. And the recognition that this niche New England Commission on Higher Ed is very prestigious, and so you wouldn't lose your credits transferring. And then, of course, almost every college president anywhere in the world will say, we need more money. And there's nothing wrong in saying that. We need resources to make sure that our equipment, pieces of equipment are up to date, and the facilities also are up to date, because they don't check only what happens in the classroom. Oh, they check all the whole campus. They want to make sure that the electrical doors are able to move. People with disabilities have accessibility on campus. And so, yes, we need to continue to upgrade our resources. And as I said earlier, we thank the government. They've added a little bit to it. A little bit more will not certainly hurt us, will be good for us. And also the Bermuda College Foundation. You have a group of men and women who go out to raise funds to help upgrade facilities here. And we are grateful to them also.
Thank you. One last question from the audience. Charles H. Jeffs II, he's asking, has Bermuda College considered reopening a more hands-on hospitality program, especially with the changes we are seeing in other careers?
Yes, absolutely. We've talked about the fact that we need to elevate the whole area of technical education. And sometimes people may not see hospitality as part of that technical education, but it's career programs. And so, yes, we are looking to do that. See, I look at it philosophically from this angle. Bermuda will remain a destination for visitors. It's a wonderful, wonderful destination. In my 1 year, I've been able to get more than a dozen people to visit the island, and they are always excited about coming here. Because it will remain a destination for years to come, we have to ensure that we have the trained people to be able to respond to the needs of the industry. We have hotels opening up. They need people. We'll do our part of it. And I know that years ago, we were really up there with the programming, and it sort of came down. We are ready to raise it up. And as part of it, we want to recognize, and we are planning to honor and recognize people who have been in these industries, including hospitality. We call it the Build to Last program. We are looking around October 8th to recognize people in the tech area, in the hospitality area, who have contributed. These are people who attended Bermuda College, and we have a long list of people we are going to honor, people who taught in these programs, and then companies that have been extremely helpful to these programs over the years. And so we are building the excitement in these areas. And yes, hospitality is integral in there, and hopefully in a couple of years, everyone will see the growth in those areas.
Indeed. We've got Nicole Walker said, I completed my degree via Bermuda College, Mount St. Vincent University, and had an amazing experience. Highly recommend it for students who may not be able to afford higher international tuitions right away, as well as mature students. Absolutely. Now that
Thank
is
you.
all a promotion, right? But do you want to respond to that real quickly?
Oh, yes, it's a wonderful program, and we have several people on the island who have gone through that program, a strong alumni of Mount St. Vincent, those who went to Canada and those who did it here. But you get that same diploma from the university. And so I'm excited that someone came on to testify and make sure that no one can say I am a liar about that. It's a great program.
No one will think you're a liar, but as you head out, if you could leave students and parents and the community with one key message about the year ahead at Bermuda College, what would it be?
Okay. Well, if I have a minute, let me plug a couple of things before I do that. One of the programs being developed by our team is a summer bridge program. Sometimes high school students, the move from high school to college, university is very, very steep. Sometimes students struggle in certain areas. We are developing a program in the summer. It will start summer 2026. College preparedness, college readiness to help the students get ready to start right in August 2026. So look out for more information. The other one, and I'm excited about it, is called Kids College. We want to start early. We want to make sure that youngsters, 4-year-olds, 6-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 10-year-olds, have some experiences here on campus so that they will grow knowing about Bermuda College. We have an outstanding young lady here who works at the college who's done some work in that area, Miss Cree Watson, who is going to develop the program between now and that time. So look out for that. But to the statement you made, great excitement for the year. We are really excited for the year. There are so many things that are going to happen. We talked about many things last year. We developed some things last year. Now we are going to implement them. One example is the modification of the admission process. We want to make sure that we streamline it and get people out there. So the message to people out there, be it student or parents, family members, this is going to be an exciting year. We hope you will be part of it. And it is not too late, again, to apply to go to school this year. What we are going to do is to meet and exceed your expectations. We have outstanding faculty. They are ready for you. I hope you are ready to come, because this is the place to be. And for those who are planning to go overseas, if between now and the next few days, your plans change and so forth, hey, come to us. We are here for you. So to everyone, welcome to Bermuda College 2025-26 academic year.
Dr. Sam, thank you, man. I echo what Rosalind Famous says here. This has been an exciting presentation. I got the urge to sign up for something. Charles H. Jeffs II, he says, I'm so glad to hear that about the hospitality. I'm happy to help if needed. And Nachiko Shrat says, classes start on August 26th. Dr. Sam, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for trusting our platform to have these conversations. And definitely looking forward to playing our part in ensuring that not only does Bermuda College maintain its accreditation, but that it continues to grow and that locals look at home first. I've shared my story enough, not going to go into it today, but in hindsight, yeah, start at home. So we'll talk soon. All the best in the new school year, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you for having me. Bye-bye.
No, have a great day. Dr. David Sam, folks, from Bermuda College, do us a favor, audience. Do us a favor. If you're streaming on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, X, or Instagram, give us a like, love, follow, share the conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Just help us beat the algorithm so that everyone you know has access to these most important community conversations. We've also got, Natika Trot says, the last day to add a class is August 29th. All right. Zena Trot says, this is a timely conversation. I sent the link to a young lady I met yesterday. Thank you for that. Monroe Smith says, has the Bermuda College put more emphasis on trade areas to attract more Bermuda students in those areas? We can definitely get an answer for that for you, Monroe, but I believe we discussed something like that with them before, and the answer was yes. So thank you all for appreciating the conversation. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll have the daily play and we'll wrap it up. I'll give my final thoughts. So again, thank you all who continue to engage with us on a regular basis on this show to drive our community forward. Denton Williams says, well done, Dr. Sam. Bermuda College is on the move. Absolutely, absolutely. So we'll take this final break, come back, and wrap it up after that. So do not go anywhere. Stick with us.
Considering the increasing challenges faced by financial institutions, the need for insurance protection is a critical component of the risk management framework. At Friesenbrook, our priority is to safeguard your assets with the most optimal, cost-effective risk management cover to help protect your business, whether it be cyber, directors and officer liability, professional indemnity, or property insurance. Call us on 296-3600 to learn more about our full suite of competitive corporate insurance products. At Friesenbrook, we provide insurance you can count on.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC. Bermuda business starts here.
Looking for the best care for your pets? Nova's Ark Feed and Supply has everything you need, from top quality foods to toys and supplies. We've got it all. Join our frequent buyer program and earn rewards every time you shop. Plus, we've been awarded the Clever Customer Initiative program for helping you save more. And don't forget, we open an hour early on Saturdays so you can get a head start on your pet care. Visit us today or shop online for easy pickup or delivery. Your pets will thank you.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Bermuda College and Dr. David Sam for trusting this platform to continue to have these most important community conversations. Folks, throughout our social media platforms, there's hundreds of you tuned in right now that I can see, but there's only a few of you on each platform helping us grow beyond the algorithm. So do us a favor, whatever platform you're on, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. And hey, just subscribe and follow and help us ensure that as many people as you know that Bermuda College is still open for applications right now. If you know someone who is going through a transition in a job or their career, these conversations are here to help them. So let's beat the algorithms. All right. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations on Hot 107.5. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, X, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. All right, audience, it's music today. Here you go. Here's the question. I want to see how many people got it like this. What two types of bodies of water did TLC say to stick to in their song? Wow. Everyone got it. Wow. You all on fire. Sheldon Fox. Rivers and Lakes. Stacey Ann Brown. Rivers and Lakes. Zena Trott. Rivers and Lakes. Rosalind Famous. Rivers and Lakes. T. Desi says Rivers and Lakes. Yes. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Let's stick to the rivers and the lakes that we're used to. Yeah. You are absolutely correct. See, I couldn't trick you all today. Sancha wouldn't have got that. Yeah, Mia wouldn't have got that. No, Larry wouldn't have got that. Sherry wouldn't have got that. They wouldn't have got it. But you all got it. No, not rivers and oceans. You were close. Rivers and lakes. All right, folks, let's wrap it up. Regarding the discussion earlier about the kebab issue, vendors issue at Harbor Nights, I'll just say this much. It raises important questions about fairness and support for local vendors and small businesses and the integrity of event management in such a small community. However, I think what needs to happen is we need to have proper conversations and guidelines, not just for Harbor Nights, but through our politics and business community in general. These situations have a common ground. We just have to find where it is. As far as the conversation with Dr. Sam, I'm a big fan of Bermuda College, a big fan. I am a believer in community colleges. I benefited greatly from Bermuda College and other community colleges in helping me, who was not seen as an academic, achieve things all the way to getting my master's degree. I've shared this story many times, and I'll tell you that Bermuda College, I got accepted to do my MBA on the condition that I had to get a grade of at least a B in statistics. And Bermuda College, because of the accreditation, was the same as Johnson & Wales University, where I did my MBA. I was able to do the summer course in statistics at Bermuda College and transfer that. And therefore, I was allowed to begin my MBA. So Bermuda College played an integral role in my development as a student and my success as receiving my degree in my MBA. So I am grateful to them. And I think that had I, in hindsight, I would have probably saved myself and family a lot of money and received a quality education if I would have done my first couple of years there. So I appreciate them. I'm hopeful that our community starts to understand the importance of our community college. And hey, if you're in transition, if you know someone who is in transition, if you know someone who, they want to get a degree finally or want to expand their horizons, give Bermuda College a call. You still have time for the fall semester. So ring them up. Got to give you some daily inspiration. And I'll leave you with this. Never allow someone's age, title, stature, bank account, or popularity to make you feel lesser to the point you allow their disrespect. You are never so far beneath anyone where you should accept disrespect in any form. All right, folks, I'll leave you with that. Don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, if you haven't already. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and a big shout out to HSBC Bermuda for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves on Hot 107.5 with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamel Hart, and please do make it a safe and a great day. We are is out. Peace.